Hello. So I wanted to kind of do like a slightly longer video to just explain everything that's kind of going through my head and why I'm kind of documenting it more so than why I'm just doing it. I need you to understand to start off with, this isn't like a shred. It's not me trying to get as lean as I possibly can. This is not me trying to show you how fast you can lose body fat. Um, it's me wanting to almost. It's not even for you guys this time. Like everything else I've done in the past, like getting bigger, I've done that because the amount of young lads that come through, if I do start waffling and going off on all different tangents, I'm going to try and pull myself in because I don't want this to be ages long. Um, the amount of young lads that have got in touch in the past that would say, like, I want to do a lean bulk, and I tried to figure out how to do a lean bulk, and what eventually happens is you do start having to gain fat. So I got bigger to try and show people that, like, look, you're going to gain fat, you are going to get bigger. There is no cheat to this unless you're potentially taking like some sort of performance enhancing drugs. When I dieted down, I just wanted to like emphasize, because genuinely when I was started PT in Arbroath, even when I set up TS Health and Fitness just like the 5 years ago, when I was saying like you need to be in a calorie deficit, you need to be in a calorie deficit, there wasn't many people here saying that sort of thing. And it's fantastic to see the evolution of personal trainers throughout the town. And I'm not saying that like I knew, maybe I did know something that they didn't know. But I'm not saying that I'm like any better or anything. I started saying that you need to be in a calorie deficit, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And there was PTs telling me like, no, you need to cut out carbs. There was PTs telling me, no, you need to fast. There was PTs telling me you need to just eat clean. And they like, that's not right. And I wanted to show people, and I knew it wasn't right. And I wanted to show people that being in a calorie deficit is what causes your body to lose fat. And I wanted to show people that like getting ripped took longer than like these like challenges that people do, these like 30-day detoxes or shreds. Like I wanted to just show people, and I've always wanted to use me, and I've said this from the start, like I've wanted to use my body as like a vessel to not only like say what I need to say, but to also show people what I say is what happens, or what I'm saying is if you do it, this is what's going to come of it. And like part of it has been for people. It's been for like content. It's been to like show people that I know what I'm talking about. And this now is like no longer about you guys. And I guarantee I've lost a lot of people there. Or maybe more people are like want to relate this to me now. Whereas like this is now more to do with like, I just want to be healthy and happy without having to go to the extremes of getting absolutely ripped or the other extreme of getting as big as I possibly can. And I need you to understand that this isn't going to be like, I think I've done 1 week already, 10 days, whatever. This isn't going to be me being like trying to show off like how much weight I can lose in 8 weeks or 7 weeks. It's more about, I want to document and talk about the small changes that you can change to your lifestyle that they maybe don't have a huge impact on the way that you look, but I don't want to swear in this either, they'll definitely have a huge impact on the way you feel. And already like 7, 10, I don't know how long I'm in, Friday would have been a week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Say like 12 days in. Yeah, Friday will be week, 2 weeks. Like the difference that I feel in myself, like the clarity I have when I'm training, the clarity that I have with nutrition, like there's no like, no, I'll just have it. Or like, right, where's this, where's that? Like there's no restriction. And this is something that I want to talk about over the time. I don't want to make this massively long. But I don't want this to ever be like we have a holiday booked because it's Lisa's birthday in October, and it's actually today is our 9-year anniversary, so we like just split a holiday, and we're going to go to Croatia. And I don't want it to be that like at the end of this I'm like stood on the beach like, look what I done, if you want to do what I've done, follow my, like I don't want to do that shit. Like, I'm going to swear probably. And I have a lot of issues with the fitness industry, and a huge reason why I started TS Health and Fitness was to try and like help you leapfrog the crap. And I don't want this to seem like I'm doing this to then sell something. Obviously, I'd love it if you wanted to work with us, and I would love to be able to help you, but I don't want it to be like you see what I do and then you're like, I want to do that, or like I'm not doing it to impress anybody. I'm just trying to get myself in a shape that I feel happy in. And by shape, I mean like a level of fitness, a level of strength, a level of muscle, like a level of body fat that I'm happy with. And at the minute, I am classed as overweight. Like my BMI is overweight. And if I can pop like something to do with BMI here, like people will be like, oh, but you're more muscular than or I'm actually not that muscly, to be perfectly honest. But there's a big area that I can be in the green with my BMI, and so can you. So if I'm at the top end of that, I'll then say like, yeah, I'm healthy, but I'm like more muscular. But at the minute, I'm overweight, and I am carrying too much body fat. And if I can also put up a photo or like a recent photo of me now, I will do that there. Again, I really didn't want to make this like drag out for ages, but I'm going to touch on a couple things. I will try and like move around so it does keep your attention, and I will probably have a shower after I record this part, shave, and then look slightly different so it catches your attention again. So I actually typed up a blog post a long time ago about why I dieted the way I dieted, so why I done bodybuilding shows and why I done photo shoots, and I don't really fully know why I done it, but I do think a big part of it was to try and like show you guys that I know what I'm talking about. I think another side of it was potentially from growing up. I played basketball, so my arms were on show, and that was like something that we would talk about, like how muscular your arms looked. My dad played rugby, so I grew up around men that were bigger than your average blokes. My stepdad's always been very fit. If you think back to like cartoons, like there were sharks that had six packs. There was gladiators that were like absolute tanks. I think these things, like I almost had this, I don't know, maybe it was like an unrealistic, probably, but at the same time I know that whatever I say you're gonna interpret however. I know in my head that I know where I can kind of be and where I can be healthily, and if that's a higher expectation than like the average, it maybe is, but that's okay. It's okay to have expectations, goals, whatever, bigger than everybody else. But I think that's kind of influenced why I've done a lot of this and why I actually quite like physiques, why I like exercise, weightlifting, all that stuff. I love it because I think I've grown up around it. If you've known me, you've always known that I've been someone that's been like very all in. Like if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I start to get like into something, I will go like hell for leather. And what I've started to notice is I'm able to catch myself doing that way before. Like I almost know, like, look, you're going to start going crazy. Like I started rock climbing. I've done a couple photos on it. I bought some shoes. I can remember being like, right, I'm going to get trousers. I'm going to get like a sleeveless top. I'm going to get like a chalk bag. I'm going to buy chalk. And I was like, wait. You've only been a couple times. Like slow down. Whereas before I would have just went hell for leather and got all the stuff, like I just went for it. And I think I've done that with dieting as well. And unless you're in bodybuilding, what I've done is yo-yo dieting. And I spoke with a bodybuilder before about this. And I'd love to talk to more people about the fitness industry and being in it and then looking into it and then professionals in that. And that's something that I am going to try and bring. I'm going to try and bring a podcast or like a YouTube video channel-y thing of me discussing things. And I will, if that's something people are interested in, please let me know who you would like or topics that you'd like me to touch on, and I will do it. But yeah, I had a big blog post about all this, but I deleted it a while back. I don't know if you'll remember. And then finally, like the other thing that I don't want to do, I am going to round this up pretty quick now. The other thing that I do worry about with doing things like this is I worry that it puts pressure on other PTs in the industry, which adds to the issues that I will talk about later in this video. I don't want me to like potentially get in better shape than I aimed, or like I have a physique that potentially people look at and they're like, oh, he managed to do that in 8 weeks and I can't do that, and then they go and do something unhealthy. Like I feel like there's a lot of that in the industry. I really do. I think a lot of people like restrict really hard. They do take unhealthy approaches. I think they like hammer themselves more than they need to expend extra calories. I think there is just like there's a whole underbelly of the fitness industry that the general population won't see or potentially even understand, because they maybe don't have the basic understanding of energy balance, calories in, calories out. But once you have a better understanding of it, you can see that there's people that doing things that are really not very healthy. So I hope that kind of gives you an introduction into why I'm doing this. I hope that makes sense, that this is just pretty much for me to get myself to a healthy body weight, and to just feel a bit more comfortable in my skin. I am going to have a shower, I'm going to have a shave, and then I will come back and I will be somewhere else and we will talk more about other issues, problems, and thoughts that I have about this whole thing. Okay, so when I say I'm the laziest PT in the world, I pretty much am, and this is maybe part of why I want to do what I'm doing. That lunch there is like my go-to. I say lunch, it's like my 11 o'clock meal. So if I've got like sauce and that all over my face, that's what it is. But as promised, I would move and be somewhere else, so this makes this a little bit more interesting and entertaining. If I've got food in my teeth, I apologise. But I want to talk through why I am not taking like the rapid fat loss, the aggressive, or even like the prolonged fat loss periods that I've done in the past. I don't know if you've ever like watched like bodybuilders post show. I don't know if you watch any like bodybuilders. Rapid fat loss is there's an approach there that I have actually used with clients in the past. However, if you're programming it for yourself, and it probably is the approach that most people take, is you're trying to lose as much body fat as you possibly can in a short period of time. But what people do is they do that and then they don't have a plan after. If you plan for what you're going to do after, it can work. And I have toyed with the idea of maybe trying to do it, but I'm going to explain why I'm not doing it. The aggressive approach for me to try and take off as much as I can in, say, these 8 weeks is a slightly different approach. It's not the same as the rapid fat loss. It's slightly different, and I can explain if that's something people care about. And then prolonged periods of time. They all lead to different implications within the body. I wouldn't want to say implications, because you can survive with them and you can deal with them. I've just not been very good at dealing with them. Like the extreme hunger and the complete food focus. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but when I'd done my diet in 2019, so the first time I ever experienced this, I actually thought Vaughn, I don't think he'll watch this, the guy that was coaching me, I actually thought he'd like broke me. All I ever thought about was food. Like how tired I was, how like I was gubbed, like genuinely gubbed, and unless you've experienced it, you don't know what that feels like. Dieting down to the extremities is controlled starvation, and I know some people will be like, "Oh, calm down. There is people starving in the world. I know that." But that is like that's what you're doing. You're pushing your body to this point where it's dangerous. Like it starts to get dangerous, and to prove that, sleep goes to shit. Like you stop sleeping. Sex drive goes. Like I don't even know if you could get an erection. I don't know. I didn't even think about sex for like the last 3-4 months of it, and that's maybe excessive, maybe. But like for me, it was just like gone. And this is what's putting me off, and this is why I'm not taking these approaches or like trying to get as lean as I was or trying to do it as fast as I possibly can. The extreme hunger. I think I've had either like a binge eating kind of. I wouldn't say like eating disorder, maybe disordered eating. Like I've always been someone that like had cheat days. I was always like, this is way back. Like I've not done this for a long time, but every time that I've dieted pretty much from like 2019 and then last year wasn't nearly as bad. And anybody that has dieted once before and that they found themselves like gorging and binging and they couldn't control it, the second time around it's a lot better. Like you kind of expect it to be worse and then it never comes. But you do feel that extreme hunger. Like honestly, the hunger is unbelievable. Like you can eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and you're just not full. And I don't know if you've ever like I talk about this a lot, and you can ask my family, and you can ask Lisa. My in-laws, they're the best people to ask. Like the amount of food that I used to be able to eat was ridiculous. I actually ate so much once that I thought I was going to make myself faint. It was crazy. And what I don't want to do this time is I don't want to diet aggressively and cause myself to experience that extreme hunger, because just now I feel like I've got it under control a little bit, and it's like I feel like I've got control over my food and my eating habits. And then the second thing is like when you take these aggressive and rapid approaches and you do take your body fat down to like low levels, you genuinely all you think about is food. And in 2019 I would watch 10,000 calorie challenge videos like every day and just like dream about it. And there is a negative side to those videos. People watch them to try and almost reassure themselves that what they're doing in their binge cycles is acceptable. So if you do watch those videos and you're finding that you are in like a binge cycle, please seek like the professional help. There's an Instagram account called Break the Binge. Highly recommend it. It's unbelievable. I'm doing one of their courses just now. It's amazing. I'm probably not qualified enough to help you, so go seek professional help. But what you could look at is, are you trying to be really aggressive, really restrictive? Are you prolonging this fat loss phase that you're in? And then what you want to do is you want to you want to try and maybe pull that back through the week so you don't feel the need to binge and you don't feel the food, your personal food focus isn't sky high. This isn't about me helping people today. I'm trying to just clear things up. The other thing is when every time that I've dieted down, I have to have energy expenditure through the roof. And what I don't want to do this time is I don't want it to be that like I have to do cardio 7 days of the week. I may eventually get to that, but if I get a fitness goal, but just now I don't want to train 4 days of the week and then do cardio 7 days of the week and just be like smashing myself. And what I find is that like in the fitness industry, people take these like short breaks to go hell for leather, make themselves look great for like a photograph, and then like undo it. And genuinely, there's people in the fitness industry that are just completely stuck in these cycles of rapid fat loss, extreme hunger, binge. Like that's normal in the fitness industry now. The final thing I'm going to touch on this one, and then I will move somewhere else, and I'll do another little snippet, is if you want to use like a rapid fat loss approach, if you want to take an aggressive approach, and you want to do like a prolonged fat loss phase, I recommend learning about diet breaks, refeeds, and high days. The reason that I'm not doing that is because I think that would slot into and feed into this previous like binge cycle or giving myself a justification to eat extraordinary amounts of calories. So this time what we want to do is I want to be real flexible with health being at the focus. This is something else that I'll talk about in a minute. I want to be doing enough energy expenditure that the cardio stuff that I enjoy. So at the minute it's an hour of cardio over the week and I just changed this the other day. I do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster and then 10 minutes after them on both times. I do 10-minute cycle and it's just to continue to burn calories. I don't include that in my steps and I try and hit 10,000 steps every single day and I do 4 workouts a week. My calories are around 2,700 on both training and non-training days. I do think I'll maybe pull that down just a little bit, but I don't want it to ever feel like I start to make myself really hungry. I hope that makes sense. I am going to touch on other things and I'll speak soon.
Coffee?
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to be clear that I don't think that everybody in the fitness industry is unhealthy. I don't think that at all. I just think there's a massive sector of it that is unhealthy and it's not portraying what health and fitness is. And I speak a lot about like being you but healthier. And I also like try and talk and push the idea that like you don't need to look a certain way and you don't need to do things the way everybody else does them, and you can be you. And I hope that all makes sense. So I'm gonna just try and like quickly touch on the things that I think like that worry me about the fitness industry. And I want to like I wasn't buying into it, but what I think I was doing was like potentially portraying or even like supporting it. I wasn't buying in and doing what they're doing, and I don't think it was right, but I don't think it's wrong. And I also need you to understand that like bodybuilding is not unhealthy. There is unhealthy ways to do it. It's just the approach. It's the aftermath that I needed to work on, and that's what the whole point of this is. So the fitness industry is there's so many people with eating disorders. Like genuinely, you wouldn't believe people trying to stay ripped year round. There's people dying. A young guy, God bless him. I used to watch all his YouTube videos. He was brilliant, but you could see that there was something off. Like he didn't sleep very much. He used to eat massive portions all the time, but he was always dieting. He always done heaps and heaps of cardio, and he'd done that year round, and his heart stopped. Scott Murray, his name was, Irish lad, and I think he was only like 20. I want to say 22, but he might have only been 24. I'm not sure. He was young, but there's people doing that, and that's happening quite a lot. Also, steroid use and people lying. There's a lot of people like taking steroids, saying that they don't, and then saying that they're going to give you something that they know that's like this secret. There's a lot of people taking steroids, and steroids are unhealthy. They take years off your life. I also think there's a huge movement about like love yourself, and like genuinely you can do whatever the hell you want in your life. And I see this like love yourself thing, and this isn't a dig. This is not a dig at all. I see this love yourself far more in female PTs. But what you see is they're like, I love myself, you should love yourself. And then they will get like lip fillers, they'll get like Botox on their forehead, they'll get fake boobs, they'll maybe even get like butt implants. And like in my opinion, like if you love yourself, you're going to accept yourself for who you are, and you're going to do your best to just look after yourself. But that's just me, that's just my opinion. I think there is a big movement in that, and I think that's all we're almost normalizing, and we've created a look that's with the lip fillers and people taking it to the extremes. Again, if you feel that you're going to be happier having these things, go ahead. Like, I'm not telling you to not do these things. And then these are all like the negative things that I think, in fact, they're all negative. These are the negative things that I think that are happening in the fitness industry. And then the other side of it, what I think people are trying to do in the fitness industry now are trying to push the unhealthy way that we live to sell their product. So for example, like drinking, like we all know alcohol is a depressant and it's a poison. But we'll still try and talk. I've done posts about it recently on how to fit it into people's day-to-day life. I know a lot of people aren't going to take it out of their life, so what I want to do is try and give people advice on how to keep it in. However, I think there's PTs that try and push it that you should be drinking, and that's balance, and that's what you need to be living for. And if you're not being able to fit those things in, you're not doing it properly, and you're not having that balance, and they try and push it that it's like obsessive or it's not real life. We know that alcohol is a depressant, and we know that it's poison. I also think that what a lot of the fitness industry are trying to do is they're trying to like mold healthy to fit the unhealthy lifestyle. Whereas for a lot of people, genuinely, it is about you need to make small changes to your lifestyle, myself included, and that's why I'm doing this. I want it to be that I can eat things with complete control, and it's never uncontrollable. And that was what I started to feel I was doing when I was like going from one extreme to the other. I also think that like we're like in the fitness industry, we're trying to push like quick fixes. Like, look how quick I can get lean. Look how quick I can get you to lose fat. Look how quick. Like, there is no quick solution to this. Your body's going to take a little while to lose fat. Your body's going to take a long time to gain muscle. It takes at least 30 days, they say, to like build a new habit. So if you're trying to change your entire lifestyle, it could take months and years, and that's okay. That's what's normal. That's how we all are. I feel like there's a lot of big lies to get people to make a lot of money. A perfect example is that Liver King. He's telling people to eat bloody bull testicles, like raw liver. These things are gross. So what he's done is he's created a problem that you don't want to eat that, so he provides a supplement to make it easy for you. These things aren't necessary. They're not true. It's not true. He also takes steroids, and he still swerves that question now. And he's being celebrated for being like an entrepreneur. Like, let's just say I lie and say that like I have a solution to make you £1 million today. You have to give me 1,000 though, and I'll give it to you. I give it to you, and then it doesn't actually do anything. And then also you're out of £1,000. Like, that's pretty much what this guy's doing, but everybody's just like kind of overlooking it. I hope that makes sense. So pretty much just to round everything up is I am not dieting for this holiday. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create better habits, lifestyle, environment, everything, like habits, behavior, all these things. I'm just trying to make them better. I'm not trying to just get in good shape. I'm trying to be in good shape. And that sentence there could probably sum the whole thing up. Thanks very much for watching. I know this has been about 20 minutes long. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them below. If there are things that you want me to do like longer videos with over these next few weeks, please do say. I want this to be educational, I want it to be help, and I want it to be that like everything that I do and say, even if it is a massive waffle, has some sort of influence or impact on you that's going to make you think like, oh, actually, I don't need to do that, or that is a myth and that isn't real. Like, that's what I want to do. What I didn't want to feed into is I didn't want to feed into like a rapid fat loss, taking as much weight off as I possibly can, to then put pressure either on coaches or the general population, general public, that they think, oh, I should be able to lose fat like that. I can lose fat like that, but I will gain it back very quickly in an uncontrollable, in a way that I don't like. So I'm going to now go through a process of changing my lifestyle to be even healthier than it is. I hope that all makes sense. If you do have any questions, please do feel free to ask. And if there is anything you want me to cover, let me know.